How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk more about Donald Trump, the border wall, government spending, a few different things. Before I even get into it, I want to show you a clip from the presser outside of the White House in which he was talking about what's going to happen when he signs the deal and then declares the state of emergency in the nation and uses some of that money to help fund the wall. After we get done watching that, I'll talk about what he said, how he said it, and then I'll add a few more things that have been said around this in retaliation to this, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
So the order is signed, and I'll sign the final papers as soon as I get into the Oval Office, and we will have a national emergency, and we will then be sued, and they will sue us in the Ninth Circuit, even though it shouldn't be there. And we will possibly get a bad ruling, and then we'll get another bad ruling, and then we'll end up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully we'll get a fair shake, and we'll win in the Supreme Court. Just like the ban, they sued us in the Ninth Circuit, and we lost, and then we lost in the appellate division, and then we went to the Supreme Court, and we won. And it was very interesting, because yesterday they were talking about the ban, because we have a ban. It's very helpful. Madam Secretary, is that right? Without the ban, we'd have a bigger problem. We have a ban on certain areas, certain countries, depending on what's going on in the world. And we won. But somebody said, President Trump lost on the ban. Well, he was right. I lost at the lower court. He didn't say that we ultimately won at the United States Supreme Court. They didn't want to say that. They didn't want to go that far. They were saying how I lost. The person sitting right up here. Donald Trump lost on the ban. Yeah, I did. And then I lost a second time. You should have said that too. And then it went to the Supreme Court and I won. Didn't want to take it that far. But we won on the ban and we won on other things too. The probably easiest one to win is on declaring a national emergency, because we're declaring it for virtual invasion purposes, drugs, traffickers, and gangs. And one of the things, just to finish, we have removed thousands of MS-13 gang monsters. Thousands. They're out of this country. We take them out by the thousands, and they are monsters.
All right, so you heard that, you saw that. Now, that was hilarious. You know, one thing about Trump, regardless of what you think about his policies or whatever, he's a funny guy. The way he was explaining it, it was funny how he was saying it, but he was dead serious. I said that same exact thing. I knew as soon as he said, okay, we're going to use the emergency money for the wall, he would get sued right away. It would go to a few different courts, the Ninth Circuit, of course, and then it would go all the way to the Supreme Court, where he would have a good chance to win because he is appointed not one, but two Supreme Court justices. We could have number 3 in here pretty soon because Ruth Bader Ginsburg has one foot in the proverbial grave, but for now, I digress. I knew he would get sued right away. This is an obvious thing that has happened. You spoke about the ban. Remember the so-called Muslim ban? It got blocked by Hawaii. That judge over there, I forget his name. I think his name was Derek something. And it was interesting how Barack Obama is kind of from Hawaii, and just 48 hours before the ruling, he just happens to visit Hawaii, just, you know, hanging out with old friends. And the guy that he knows, the judge there, says, okay, let's go ahead and block this ban. But it went to the Supreme Court, and then they were able to say, okay, the ban is on, we're good money. So that's a good precedent for that. Now, Nancy Pelosi is trying to say, hey, wait a minute, you can't use this for this. And if you do, what about other Democrats? They might want to come out and use it for guns. They could say gun violence is a problem and we need to confiscate guns. That's basically what she's saying. But there's a little problem with that called the Second Amendment. I'm not quite sure what amendment deals with the border wall and border wall funding. If you know about that, please let me know in the comments below. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I don't know about it. What I do know is Second Amendment, right to bear arms. There are quite a few laws in the books right now that go against that, but that's a different story for a different day. I just know that that particular lawsuit have a lot of different problems because of the Constitution, and you got to break that in order to just say, all right, no more guns because we got emergency going on. So moving right along, he's already been sued by this quote unquote watchdog group, and I'll place information about them on the screen before you, also in the box below. They are called the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. They filed a lawsuit just 4 hours after Trump said that he's going to issue the state of emergency. And what they want is to, quote, provide documents concerning the legal authority of the president to invoke emergency powers. I'm pretty sure he has that on deck. That shouldn't really be a lengthy lawsuit. But the purpose of these lawsuits is, I say twofold at least. The first is to prevent him from doing this at all, just to stop the whole action, just to totally cut it away. The second is to delay it as much as possible. Delay. So hopefully this won't be too delayed. Even if there's a lawsuit going on, hopefully they don't issue an injunction or something like that. If the injunction is issued, hopefully it gets rescinded like it was with a recent case. I forget what that was, but if you know what that was, let me know in the comments below. At the end of the day, we're going to get about $8 billion from this particular situation, from the emergency money. The money is supposed to be used for drug prevention as far as coming into the country, and also for military construction. The military can go build parts of the wall to stop drugs from coming in. It seems pretty cut dry, everything like that. The law's there, the money's there. We got 1.4 from Pelosi and Schumer. We got about 900 million from DHS. That's about 2.3. Now we got 8 from the emergency order. So altogether, now the mathematician, you're talking about over $10 billion, 10.3 to be exact. We probably only need about 5. So I think we're good money. We can donate some of that money to charity, whatever we're going to do. So I think we're good. Don't even worry about it. And also the money from the fund will not affect disaster relief. So we're still good on disaster relief. That money is good to go. This money will be for the wall, and it will be tall. So what do you think? Do you think that the wall will be built? Because the only thing that's left right now in our way are lawsuits from the left. Do you think they'll be able to be successful? How do you feel about Nancy Pelosi saying that this same thing could be used in the future to confiscate guns or to do something about guns? Now, as far as I know, this ain't the first time this kind of thing has been done to get certain things accomplished in government. I think Barack Obama used it. George W. used it. Slick Willie used it. A lot of people used it even before them. So it's not a new thing to happen. Sometimes these orders get blocked, but sometimes they don't. It's just a matter of really who's in the Supreme Court, who's in the appellate courts, or what have you. I think Trump just put in a few judges in the Ninth Circus to try and reform that, if I'm not mistaken. So we should have luck on the lower courts. And if we don't, we got a Supreme Court in our back pocket. Like I said, Trump put in 2 justices, conservatives, and he might have the crack at another one coming up pretty soon, because Ruth Bader Ginsburg, although she did emerge from her crypt today, might not be there too much longer. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.